What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Rumpier Sports Hardwood show for some Wednesday night NBA action. We have a full 9-game slate. We have some injury news that's already come through, some really good value plays, which we'll discuss. As always, joined by my boys, TitleTown and BigT. Title, I'll go to you first. What's going on, my man?
Yeah, nice. What is that? Wednesday slate, not even Tuesday. Yeah. Wednesday slate. All the days blend in now. Get a good 9-game slate. 30-minute later lock than normal. The big news on the slate is the Spurs. DeRozan's out. Keldon Johnson's out. Rudy Gay's out. Derek White's out. Devin Vassell. So obviously we get one of these spots where they're going to have 9 guys if Aldridge plays, with which it looks like. It's hard to ignore these guys. So that's the biggest news on the slate for sure. Heroes questionable. We got some other news, Miami news, but it's a good slate. Anytime 9 games, a lot of late news is going to be, I imagine. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's definitely it's going to be a good slate. We have this Spurs news, and the sites did not really get out ahead of it, and no one is really priced to where they should be. So Spurs guys will be very popular. We'll definitely touch on that. Once we get to that game. Good news though for the chat. Our boy Big T. Sounds like all the gear has been shipped out up to date. Is that correct?
It hasn't been shipped, but it got shipped to my house. So We're in the process of getting it shipped out. It's,
all right,
it's in a box too. I got everything situated today. Everything is ready to go. Just got to go to FedEx before the slate starts tonight, like usual.
Yeah. I mean, your daily trip to FedEx pre slate lock. You got to get it done. One shout out though to our boy. We definitely like to see the gear on the winners. Our boy Caesar. Just like Black Jesus last week. Black Jesus swept us away with that picture on Twitter. Our boy Caesar follows up with a solid picture, repping the RPS hat in Northern Cali, something that you love to see. I mean, it got me excited, Big T.
I was thinking about it too, because I haven't even brought this up till right now, but I was thinking about it earlier when I saw Caesar's picture. But that could be our next little $600 free roll. Wherever someone posts the gear in the best spot or looking the best, maybe we get them an entry on Twitter.
Considering what we talk about on the show, I don't know if that's good. I don't know if that's a good idea.
It's all part of the process. You got to weigh the pros and cons of where you go. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I do.
Someone impresses us. I think we might put them in a $600 tournament, though.
You're asking for some things that we might want to see. So yeah, I mean that could be the next big thing. We're definitely doing a ticket giveaway though in March. There's no doubt about that. That was a lot of fun. We got to figure out the parameters for how we're going to pick the winner. But I don't hate that idea at all. We just got to make sure it's on a 18 and older site, I'd assume, right?
I mean, it just depends. They got to be creative. I mean, if they can keep it to where you can repost it and stuff, and you got to be creative to get that ticket. But if you blow us away, we're definitely giving you a ticket. Obviously, we got to be able to repost it and stuff, so you can't have it like totally over the line. But you gotta go right on the line, toe the line, see how close you can get to something.
Definitely.
Or it could just be like sitting next to a beach or something. I mean, like just.
I don't think we're picking beach winners. I think that
we might not, but people gotta figure out the path to victory.
Yeah, that's Title. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I saw that picture on Twitter too, Black Jesus, and then today Caesar. I mean, I love seeing these pictures pop up on Twitter. They're looking nice with the gear, so keep sending them in. If you guys know Big T and Hoop and the way to our hearts now, so just make sure it's appropriate enough where it'll stay on Twitter. But hey, that's a fun promo. I like it.
Definitely is. As always, we ask that you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Helps us to continue to bring you guys these shows for free. We'll pick a number in terms of likes after the probably the second game, but I have to say the bar has been risen because we're accomplishing a very solid number of likes. Big T is pushing you guys, so I'm going to go to him after that second game. We'll see where we're at. We'll see where we need to be in order to give away a piece of gear. We still have the promo code Workbench21 going. Workbench21 at checkout at Rumpier Sports gets you 25% off your first payment at Rumpier Sports. If you watch the show, you want to sample us out, try the weekly package, $20. You punch in that promo code, it'll bring you down to 15. You can give it a try. And if you don't like it after a week, you can tell us bye-bye, but I think you will like it. So head on over there. Workbench 21 gets you that 25% off your first payment. Let's see. Anything else before we get into it? Tony, did I miss anything? Are we good to hop into these games?
Steve Anthony got banned from Twitter. Our boy Steve Anthony's he's been on so many shows with us. How in the world did you get banned from Twitter, Steve? That you must have gone over the line I was just talking about. Where you're supposed to tow it.
Yeah, may have crossed it. That's unfortunate. That's definitely unfortunate, but you can still be here with us in this YouTube chat, and that'll make up for your Twitter stuff for sure. I'm banned on Twitter. Oh man. Anything else, Tony, before we hop into the slate?
Oh, I'm ready to pick some winners.
Yeah, a lot of games here. Got 9 games. We got the news, obviously, that Spurs news, so we'll touch on that when we get there. But right out of the gate, we have the Warriors, we have the Pacers, 231.5 total. Indiana favored by 2. And before we get into the games, I mean, I haven't followed it super closely with all the All-Star stuff, but how in the hell? I mean, Tony, you probably follow this a little closer. Title does well. How in the hell does Sabonis not make the All-Star team? He's averaging what, 20, 10, and 5?
Robbery.
I need to
it makes
right now.
It makes no sense. He was there's a lot of some questionable things, but he was the one that I was like, he has to make it. Yeah. I mean, this guy is dominated at night in, night out. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, both ends of the court. I mean, just very solid all season. He's got the stats. He's got everything. He's got monster games throughout the season. 20, 10, and 5. It doesn't make the squad. That's, I mean, to me, absolutely insane.
He's priced at 10-5 on DraftKings. Is that the most expensive player to not make the All-Star team like the day after they come out, or like?
It has to be. Tony, anything?
So how many is there? There's 5, 7, 9. There's 12. How many is there? 5, 7, 9, 12
for reserves.
Just total, like 12 dudes, right? Each side.
Yeah, I think 7 reserves. That sounds right.
So you got like the starters. I mean, clearly the starters should be in. I mean, Beal, Kyrie, Durant, Giannis, and Embiid all should be. Harden, Levine. I mean, Jaylen Brown is definitely framed.
Jaylen Brown is the guy.
That was the last one.
He should not be on that team.
And Julius Randle's similar to Sabonis. Randle deserved it too, though. I mean, yeah, Jaylen Brown should be the guy. I mean, Vooch is awesome. Tatum should be in. Levine.
Oh, Ben Simmons shouldn't be on there. Ben Simmons is terrible.
I mean, Ben Simmons for sure could be the fringe one too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but whatever. Doesn't really matter for DFS, but just thought I'd mention that.
He's been awesome, though. It is annoying when stuff like that happens.
Yeah, definitely deserves
it. Because it matters. People, all these people, too, on Twitter, like it doesn't, it matters. Same thing with the numbers. I hate when these Twitter people, everyone was all over me about that Carson Wentz number thing. Numbers matter to people. I'd be pissed if Title didn't give me the number 44 when I came to run pure. That'd be bullcrap. Give me that number 44. I mean, numbers.
I don't want that dusty number. Yeah. You can keep 44.
Dust ball number for sure. But yeah, so we got the big total here, 231.5. Pacers are favored by 2. And just glancing at this, yeah, I mean, definitely love Sabonis. Definitely love what he's done this season. I can't pay 10-5 for Sabonis on this slate. That's something that I'm definitely going to be willing to look past. Miles Turner, 6'1", a little bit of interest in him. I mean, probably definitely more of a tournament play. On the Warriors side, we got Steph at 10K on DK. We have Wiggins, 6'4". For Wiggins, not terrible. I don't know. Not a lot stands out to me in this game. I mean, obviously, Sabonis, Steph are, the two guys that could hurt you if you fade them, but their price tags are both up there. 10K for Steph on DK. Sabonis is 10-5. Go to you first, Title. Is there anything you like in this first game here?
Yeah, so nothing just stands out too much. Like I said, we're going to have a lot of interest in Spurs. So that's going to be the game I'm concentrated on most. And one-offs, I like Jaylen Brown more, Tatum more. They have better prices than Steph at 10K. It's a pretty tough matchup for Steph. I know it's a good implied total, but the Pacers are solid on defense. I don't like picking on Brogdon. Steph's the only guy that they really need to focus on. They could double him up top on pick and rolls and stuff. So I don't love the price tag. I don't love the price tag on any of these guys. If you want like Miles Turner, I'm fine with him on both sites, or Doug McDermott, 4.4K is the last piece on FanDuel. But nothing I'm going to plug and play right away. If they land as the last piece of my lineup, I'm fine, but I'm fine fading it. That's my lean.
Yeah, the one thing I will say, we don't have a lot of the big time studs on the slate, so there's not a ton to pay up for. So maybe the case is a little bit stronger for him in tournaments. That's something that our boy Big T handles. He's the guy that crushes these tournaments. He's had a lot of success hitting up these early games when people wait for the news. This slate's a little bit different because we already have the main news with that Spurs situation and a ton of guys that are in play and way too cheap. Tony, without a ton of studs and already having this news, do you have any interest in this one? Right out of the gate, 7:30 Eastern.
Yeah, I mean, these are some of my favorite plays when the stud guy just got snubbed from the All-Star game and no one's going to play him against a team that has no bigs. I mean, this checks all the boxes for me in a tournament play. He's coming off an 82-point game. I mean, I love it. And I love plays when I know for a fact no one's going to play him. Like, I love it. Those are just literally my favorites because all he has to do is go out and get me in the 60s at a low ownership, and the whole night is laid out right out of the gate. And I think he's going to on top of it. All-star snub, overpriced, super high floor on top of it. I'm not even convinced the price isn't right for this spot. Like, that's how much I like him. And Brogdon, too. I mean, Brogdon's price looks a little high. But, man, he's coming off 2 big games in a row in the 50s, playing 40 minutes a night.
Brogdon, the guy that has no upside?
I mean, he's still not outscoring Levine, so, yeah.
I don't know where – that must have been your boy JSU.
That was the show where the argument started.
That had to be JSU. I never once would say – I would never say Brogdon has more upside.
That was where the argument – because they were the same price on that slate, and I said –
so maybe that's how the argument started, because I know how it ended, and it ended in you saying that Brogdon and Sabonis don't have upside.
We need Simon to go look it up. That's what I'm waiting for. I wasn't on this show. I do know that.
What happened?
I wasn't on the show, so I need
Simon
Friday.
It was definitely JSU on there.
It was a Friday show. Maybe that's how it started, but you finished it by saying that Brogdon has no upside. But anyhow,
I still don't think he's got crazy upside, but I do. It's the same thing as the Toronto guys, though, where like the dude just plays 40 minutes, and God, you give me these guys that play 40 minutes, and there's just not much downside to them. Even if they totally suck, they get you like mid 30s, and that's fine. Like, it's not going to kill you. So I like these guys. I mean, yeah, I like Sabonis. I like Brogdon. I don't like Steph as much just because the price is just tough for me. And I haven't been needing a run back this year. I do like Draymond, though. Athletic bigs against Indiana. I think he could cause some havoc in here tonight at a pretty cheap price tag. So that'd be where I'd go. The 2 studs for Indiana and Draymond.
I mean, the Vegas numbers are lining up nicely. Like I said, the big total over 230, Pacers favored by 2. So, high total, close spread, and teams that run pretty tight rotations. I mean, there's not many question marks in terms of the rotation. The guys that are going to be out there if this is a close game. So, for tournaments, I don't hate looking this way at all. You can Sabonis, like Tony said, I mean, his ownership, no one's paying the 10-5 for him. I can promise you that. I agree with you. I think solid tournament.
He's gonna freaking crush too. Like that All-Star snub has to do something. God, he's gonna crush tonight.
Yeah. Next game, Rockets, Cavs, 220 total. Houston favored by 4. On the Houston side, I mean, we're waiting on news whether or not Oladipo plays, and that kind of dictates everything for the Rockets. Hard to, really pinpoint the solid plays here without that news. If he were to miss, going to be the same guys. I mean, John Wall started out super hot last game. He fizzled. Game turned into a blowout. Probably going to see a lot of blowouts for the Rockets this season. I mean, just not a very inspired team at this point. But if Oladipo's out, I think we can look to these guys again. We can look to Wall. We can look to Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon still has a really good price tag on FanDuel, 5.3K. I think he's probably in play either way. But if Oladipo's out, he becomes a guy that's very tough to avoid. We talked about House. We talked about Tate. I think those guys would come into the conversation once again if Oladipo is out. On the Cavs side, you have Jared Allen coming off a monster game last night. Wouldn't be surprised if he follows that up again tonight in this matchup with, PJ Tucker. He should be able to get whatever he wants. So I really like him. Colin Sexton, I think, is a good FanDuel play at 6.9K. maybe a little bit of Garland in tournaments. But yeah, I mean, these guys are solid options. On the Rocket side, it all comes down to whether or not Oladipo plays. Just got a little bit of news. Jeremy Grant's out, so we'll talk about that when we get to the Pistons. But on this game here, Big T, what do you got in this Rockets Cavs game?
Yeah, the news is going to be pretty crucial for obviously the Oladipo. And I mean, Gordon's still questionable too, right? Both of them.
Gordon is officially questionable.
I see questionable, yeah, with the heel,
Okay.
I believe it was.
Okay, yeah, he is questionable as well. Yep, you're right.
So yeah, I mean, it's really tough to talk on Houston until we have that news because, man, it's versus Cleveland. You got a relatively high total. I mean, sitting at like 220 for these teams. You just got to wait and see. I mean, if all their dudes are in, I definitely like these guys a little less. John Wall's going to be in play no matter what. I mean, he let us down the other night, but they should be able to score some points here tonight. I think John Wall's in a total crush spot for the similar price point to Brogdon. I like both of them a lot. As far as the rest of the team, though, it's really hard to talk about them until you know if Oladipo and Gordon are in. If they're out, I think you can play these guys again. I mean, Justin Patton looks like a guy that could start. I know the coach made a bunch of comments about wanting guys to play harder, which tells me some of these younger guys going away from some of the vet guys that just aren't trying as hard. Nwaba always seems to play hard. I mean, some of those guys would be where I would go, but we got to wait on the news. Hopefully, this is the early game, right? Yeah, this is a 7:30, yeah. So we'll have the news before it starts, and we can probably even circle back hopefully before the end of the show. The Cleveland side, Jared Allen's going to be super popular, and for good reason. I mean, I think he'll be in a good spot. I don't like it as much as last night. I loved him last night. He crushed back-to-back now. I don't know. I like it when he plays bigs. I don't like it when he plays the small guys. I don't know what it is about that, but it's something in my head. But these Cleveland guys are in play too. But again, I want to know if Oladipo's in. If Oladipo's in, it really hurts because he's a solid defender. It'll hurt these guards a little bit. And they're priced up. Sexton's priced up. Garland's priced up. Taurean Prince is supposed to play tonight, which hurts some of the wing minutes. I don't know. I don't like Cleveland as much as Houston.
Yeah, well, we should get the news on Oladipo and Gordon probably at some point in the show. We'll circle back and talk about the Rockets. Really hard to analyze that situation without knowing whether or not those guys are in title. Any interest in these Cavs guys for you tonight?
Yeah, well, first I see someone in chat, Anthony Massey goes, "Hey guys, can y'all give a shout out to Kendra? She's a first lady of Run Piers. She's watching right now from Philly." So love that comment. Shout out to you, Kendra. We appreciate you watching. We appreciate everyone watching. But like Big T said, this news all comes down to Houston. If Eric Gordon and Oladipo are out, John Wall becomes a must play in cash games, hard to avoid in tournaments. Nwaba, Sterling Brown, Jayshawn Tate, all the secondary guys. I mean, they're in the same spot as the Spurs. If that happens, they're just going to be really short and need all the minutes. So very big news. We'll get it before lock for sure. If we don't get it on this show, I imagine JSU and Holden will be breaking that news down a lot too. Gordon's a good play if he plays. John Wall is a good play regardless, but they all get boosts if they're out. As far as the Cleveland side, Jared Allen's a great play on both sides. He just performs when he gets the minutes, and now without Drummond, he's playing mid to high 30s in minutes. PJ Tucker can't guard him. I like him more on FanDuel like I always do because of the stock upside, but he's still a good play on DraftKings with this price. Darius Garland, like you said, I like him on both sides. And then Sexton, I lean him on FanDuel because he's 6.9 and you have to play 2 shooting guards. So it's a good game, but it's a game you definitely need news on for the Houston side.
All right, yeah, we've got some news in the chat here. And listen, guys, I'm in this aspect of life, I'm just a lot different than Big T. When I'm wrong, I'm willing to accept it, and I stand up to my mistakes. And Stingaze Barnes comes into Tony's defense. He says, "Hoop, I listened to that Friday show about Levine and Brogdon, and you did say that. Now, if I did say that, I'll take responsibility. I mean, it
could have been a 1 slate sample size, though. You could have just been talking about that night."
Okay, all right, I appreciate that. Yeah, so there's a lot of uncertainty. I am going to do some research.
It was Friday, though. Now that you mentioned
I know it was.
I know for a fact JSU was on there because I argued with him for a week about it. And then he's the one that didn't take the L because he circled back and he's like, "Well, Yeah, the Bulls had some injuries though, and he started
There's definitely some context to the situation. Could be a matchup thing, but we're gonna get to the bottom of this. I will promise you guys that we're definitely getting. It's a issue that keeps arising here on the Rumpier Sports YouTube channel, and when situations arise, we like to get them taken care of. So we're gonna get this one settled. Tony, we got let's see, about 700 people. What's our number tonight?
Yeah, I mean, last week was the 400 week. This is the 450 week. We got it Monday and Tuesday. We're definitely going to get it today. I mean, we got it easy the last 2 days. So this is our 450 week. We're gonna get right in there for the gear.
Yeah, the 450.
If you get it in today too, it'll be in that next shipment too. So today's a good day to win.
A lot of pressure today. You want to get in that shipment before Big T goes to FedEx.
There might not be another one for a minute either, so you might want to get in this shipment.
You want to get in. All right, so the 450 unlocks the gear and unlocks the 2 plays of the day. So make sure you guys get there. My goal, like I said, the longer we go on here is to get to the point where I don't have to continue to beg and plead for these likes. I would just prefer them to happen organically. So hit it. And we'll definitely, now more people are in here backing you up. Damn it. I guess when Big T's on the heater, you just don't. I keep bringing it up too. I might as well just bury it at this point and just.
The issue with that argument was more about Levine though. It was when he was like priced super cheap. He was like 8,200 or something that slate. And I was saying, there's no way Brogdon has more upside than Levine was what started the whole thing. And then it turned into Brogdon doesn't have upside too. That's probably why you remember that.
And we're moving on. Screw this shit. All right, next game, we got the Celtics. We got the Hawks. 224 total. Boston favored by 2. Boston will be without Kemba Walker tonight. That obviously presents a big boost to Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. The secondary guys, maybe a little bit more probably tournament plays, but it would more so be Brown and Tatum that I'm focusing on, and both, in play across the industry tonight because of this opportunity without Kemba Walker in this good matchup with the Hawks. On the Hawks side, potentially a little bit thin tonight, no Cam Reddish, and Cam Reddish isn't a huge name, but he's been playing a lot of minutes. And then John Collins is questionable. If he were to miss, we could see guys like, Gallinari get a boost and potentially slide into that starting lineup. We'll have to see. But, a team that we could get some additional value from. Go to you first, Title. What are your thoughts here on this Celtics-Hawks game?
Yeah, so Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum stand out as my favorite spend-ups on the slate. They're going to have ownership for sure. So I like pivoting in GPPs or only playing one of them because they kind of eat into the ceiling, but the prices are good. The matchup's great. Kemba's out. It just all aligns for a really good spot for these two. I lean Tatum. I always lean Tatum just because I think he's the better player, more usage, but they're both good plays. Brown's cheaper. Both sites, very, very, very strong plays. Capella, I like him on DraftKings. He's only 7.8, 8.2 on FanDuel. I like too. I think he could have a big game. He's getting over 30 minutes, always has massive upside, 2020 upside. So I like him as a run back if you're going to do it. Daniel Theis, if you need it. FanDuel, he's 4.9K. You have to play two power forwards. So if you need one and it helps you get something else, I'm fine with it. Other than that, though, it's mainly just the studs in this game that I'm interested in.
Yeah, I mean, if Collins is ruled out, Clint Capella, I think the rebounding upside would be very, very high. I mean, especially if Gallinari gets in there and starts, I mean, he'd be able to basically grab, any rebound he'd want. So I think that would be a nice little boost for him for sure. Tony, what's your interest level here in this Celtics-Hawks game?
Yeah, I mean, just first on the Boston side, I think both Tatum and Brown are in the same spot where they've been the last 2 weeks, where when Kemba's out, man, they look really good on paper. And I do like them. I will have a decent amount of them. I worry about how bad they've looked. They've snapped out of it a little bit. I mean, if you're going to look at the projections, they're going to project really nice tonight. I do like them both, especially against Atlanta. Atlanta doesn't really have anyone to guard the wings like them, so definitely like them. And then the Atlanta side, yeah, I mean, if Collins is out, Capella, God, he might be the best play on the slate. He could get 20 boards tonight if Collins is out. Like, he is going to nuke Boston. I can see it coming a mile away. But yeah, Collins needs to be out. If Collins is in, definitely hurts basically all of them. I don't know if I would like any of them if Collins was in. If he's out, though, yeah, you have to like Gallo, like you said. 4,700 gets a little boost. And, God, I never want to play Tony Snell. I don't. I friggin' hate him. I probably won't play him tonight. But if Collins is out, I mean, the dude played 33 minutes last night at 3K. They need him to guard these dudes. I probably still won't play him, so I shouldn't even bring him up. But, I mean, the dude is 3K. I'll just say that. He's 3K. He played 33 minutes last night. Proceed at your own risk.
I was in the same boat because he's grading out fine. I see he's 3K, and then I'm like, I'm not going to recommend Tony's. Like, I get it. Yeah, he's great. Like,
if it gets you the world, like if everything just aligns perfectly and all you got to do is play him, hopefully he gets you like 18.
Yeah.
Yeah. So keep an eye out for that news on John Collins.
God, let him sit, dude. Please just let him sit. Because Capella, he's gonna go off if Collins.
Yeah, 7-8 on DK, 8-2 on FanDuel. He'd be a really, really strong play if Collins is out. So that's what time is this? 7:30 as well. So
right out of the gate, we're gonna have all. How does this happen every night? People keep making fun of me because I play all these early dudes, and it's like, man, I don't know how to not play them.
Yeah, it's tough, especially in these spots.
I think Capella's a good play, even if Collins is in, though. His ownership will still stay down. 7-8 and 8-2 for Capella. Regardless, I mean, I think it's a great matchup.
I like him either way, but man, he becomes like almost a lock without him.
Big boost, yo.
Tony's just PJ Tucker, the dude I'm never playing PJ Tucker, so I'll play Snell over him.
Yeah, PJ Tucker's been man. That price is way down there, but so is the production. He's been freaking awful. Like, he sucks.
Yeah, you can't play him. Like, there's no way you can play him.
He was 25% in cash like last night or 2 nights ago or something. Those are the best nights.
He should be like 2,500 as a player. He's fucking awful. As always, Holden and JSU will be bringing you up to lock final countdown today. I think it's going to be very, very important because there's going to be a lot of news that breaks here within the next hour and a half here before lock. So you want to head on over to Rumpier Sports as part of our premium package. Use that promo code Workbench21, 25% off your first payment at Rumpier Sports. It's all inclusive too. I mean, just one price for everything. We're not like these other sites where, when a new sport starts, they go ahead and charge you $300-400 more. Even the random sports like NASCAR, they're going to charge you $500-400. That's crazy. Like that's crazy talk at Rumpier Sports. Everything under one umbrella, one low, fair price. That's the way we like it, and that's the way we are going to keep it moving forward. Next game, Spurs Thunder, 217.5. Thunder favored by 1. And this is a spot where most ownership on the slate is going to come from on the Spurs side. The Spurs are without a lot of guys. No Rudy Gay, no DeMar DeRozan, no Devin Vassell, no Keldon Johnson, no Derek White, all out. They have, I think, 10 bodies, potentially only 9 guys playing. DeJounte Murray, Lonnie Walker, Bates Diop, Trey Lyles, Marcus Aldridge, Podol, Mills, all in play here today. You're going to want, if you're playing cash games, you're probably going to want 3 or 4 of these guys. If you're playing tournaments, you're definitely going to want, at least some exposure here. They're going to play a lot of minutes. It's, a good matchup here. We're talking a 1-point spread. So really like the Spurs side, but so will everyone else on the slate. On the Thunder side, Gilgeous-Alexander continues to be really cheap on FanDuel at 7.5K. He's probably the only guy, though, that I have interest in, just in that spot over there on FanDuel. Not much else I'm really liking here on the Thunder. They're finally starting to get most of their guys back. The minutes could be spread out a little bit. Tony, I'll go to you first. How are you handling the Spurs situation in tournaments?
Yeah, I mean, so the first thing you said that I've caught on to today is, man, they got more bodies than I think people are giving them credit for. Like, they're going to play 10 dudes, I think, tonight. Maybe the Salmonok or whatever the dude's name is doesn't play. But for sure the other 9 are playing. And they got Trey Jones back to play some minutes behind DeJounte and Patty. I don't know. I think I called it last night where the Dallas fade ended up pretty good, where all those chalky Dallas guys didn't get there. I don't like the Spurs as much as other people. I do like Lonnie Walker looks like a tough fade. I mean, some of the cheaper guys, I definitely like the cheaper guys more than DeJounte. Like, I can't see myself playing DeJounte because he's kind of expensive still, and I don't think they're going to run him more minutes than normal. They'll play. They have no problem playing Trey Jones. Like, he's fine to come in there and play for 20 minutes. So I don't want to play him. I'm never playing Aldridge. So then it's just the cheap guys. And yeah, I mean, any of these cheap guys are in play. Lyles always seems to treat me well. Patty Mills always seems to do good in this spot. Lonnie Walker is definitely my favorite. I feel like he's a young guy, should play 30-plus minutes, super cheap. I see the least amount of risk with him. And I don't know. Lyles is probably my second favorite. But a lot of these guys, I wouldn't be shocked if they play just all these guys 20 minutes, 20 to 23 minutes. And I wouldn't be shocked if none of these guys end up crushing. And they're going to be super, super chalky. Obviously, I'm not going to fade it completely, but I am going to fade DeJounte completely, LaMarcus Aldridge completely, Podol at 6,400 completely. But the cheap guys, yeah, any of the cheap guys, I think, are definitely in play.
Podol 6,400. Wow, that's
yeah. I'm not paying 64 for Podol. I'll tell you that much.
The only guy they decided to price up on the Spurs is Pirtle. That's pretty impressive. But yeah, definitely don't pay the 6.4K on Pirtle. Title thoughts here on this game.
Yeah, this is the difference between cash and tournaments. In cash, it's really hard to ignore some of these. I guess I'll rank them because there's so many in play. I'd go Lonnie, and this is point per dollar based on the pricing. I love Lonnie, Patty Mills, DeJounte, Trey Lyles, and then Aldridge on FanDuel. He's 6K on DraftKings. He's 5.6 on FanDuel. I prefer him on FanDuel, but he's in play on DraftKings if you want it, but I wouldn't do that. Those are the guys I'm mainly focusing on, the Lonnie, Patty, DeJounte, Trey Lyles. And I rank them that way. I think they're going to run out 9 bodies is what I'm seeing or what I'm expecting. But I think the starters are going to play mid-30s. I'm a little more bullish, I know, than BigT. But
I want action then. I will definitely book that action.
That they'll play 9 players?
Those dudes are playing mid-30s.
I'll say I think DeJounte is playing 30 for 5.
Will play mid-30s, but yeah.
Lonnie low 30s. Patty Mills probably high 20s. Trey Lyles about I just meant more DeJounte the starter, the stud.
I think DeJounte will play 34 minutes or 33 minutes.
They all get a minutes boost, and it's a 1-point spread, so I expect the game to stay close. I mean, OKC plays a little slower, but it's still a 217 total, so I like it. I think they're going to run 9 bodies. I'm definitely going to have multiple Spurs in my lineups. Tournaments, though, they're going to be high owned, so definitely makes a fade worth it or consider it. For the OKC side, SGA, like you said, is the only interest I have. And I like him more on FanDuel where he's 7.5K. Still too cheap for his role. Good player. Shooting guard position's weak, so he makes a lot of sense.
Yep, I definitely agree. Cam Reddish officially out. Kind of figured that he was doubtful. Just wanted to touch on that. Next game,
they left John Collins a game time decision.
Yeah.
Hate that.
It's still the first game, and we'll have it before. I mean, so if you're looking to act on that news and you're ready to go, I mean, that's kind of where you could find a little bit of an edge. I mean, the less time your opponents have to react to the news, probably the better. So it's just a situation you should kind of be thinking on both sides of it. You know, we said we really like Capella if Collins is ruled. I think Capella's in play either way though, but just some more news to monitor. It's the first game out of the gates here, so we should have something else, another update, probably at least 30 minutes before lock.
That's where we give them a big edge though too with this up to lock show with JSU and Holden.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to be on talking to you guys while the news hits and telling you what to do with it. That's a big edge. We've been staying on a little later. I've hopped on with them too, where after lock even talk about some of the moves and stuff. That's one of the better shows you can have as far as your membership with us.
Yes, certainly. And we have 3 games at 7:30. So a third of the slate tips off at 7:30. You still have 2/3 after that to
how many at 8 too? There's a bunch at 8 too? Is
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, four more at 8 p.m.
You got
Eastern.
7 games at 7:30 to 8 tonight. Like that. Yeah. If you've ever listened to that JSU Holden show, today's a good day because you got all that info before 8.
Yeah,
and then the 2 later games, honestly, are the 2, at least to me, are the 2 worst on the slate.
Yeah, what are those? So we got the
Lakers game.
Hornets, Suns, and then the Lakers, Jazz. We'll get to those for sure here in a little bit. Next game, we have the Raptors.
Well,
we have the Heat.
I do want to cut you off for 1 sec. I talked a lot about the Spurs, but I also forgot Jeremy Grant news that came on when we were on the show, how he's out.
That's huge.
Maybe I'm a little higher on this because before it lock and before Grant was out, I was going to have plenty of Spurs. We're going to talk about that situation, but maybe they do. I won't be playing as many of them because now Detroit's in a really good spot, losing their best player in Grant too. So we'll talk about it. I just wanted to, totally forgot about that. Steve Anthony in the chat reminded of Jeremy Grant news, which is really big.
Yeah, that is big. And then one thing, it will lower the ownership on some of these Spurs guys. I mean, these guys were going to be mega. They're still going to be popular. Don't get me wrong. They're still going to have very high ownership, but with another big name off the slate, it's just naturally going to bring the ownership down on some of these Spurs guys as well. Next game is the Raptors Heat 214 total. Miami favored by 2. Raptors get Kyle Lowry back. Honestly, this game, I think you can take a look at Jimmy Butler. But this is another game where we're kind of waiting on what's the news? What's the situation with Dragic? He is so these guys, Dragic is questionable, Hero is questionable, so we still don't have that news. Now, if these guys are out, a little boost to Butler, a boost to none. I don't know on this slate though if it's enough to get me on these guys. To me, this game is looking like a fade for the most part. I don't want really anything, I don't think. Like I said, you can probably take a look at Butler in tournaments and maybe none if Dragic and Hero are out. I mean, if Dragic and Hero are in, I'm definitely going to be off this game. Tony, I'm going to go to you first from a tournament perspective. Any interest here?
Yeah, it just looks like the wrong slate. We just have other high floor spots where that's Toronto's strength, honestly. Again, last night, I've been preaching it all year, but again, the nuts on that big tournament on FanDuel, I think, had 3 Toronto guys. People keep thinking you can't do this in big tournaments. It won again. Pascal Van Vliet and Norman Powell were on the winning team in that $3.33 massive field tournament. People think that, and it's just not true. These guys play so many minutes that their floor is huge, their ceiling is huge, and they're just great fantasy plays. But like you guys said, tonight Lowry's back, so there's one more body in the mix. Still a massive floor. They're still going to play big minutes. But we have other plays on this slate that are just as big of floors. So I agree that I don't think I've faded Toronto all season really. And tonight I think I'm fading with all 4 of them back against Miami and other really good plays on the slate. I think it's a fade tonight, and it scares me a little because they've treated me well.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just tough on the slate. I just feel like there's better spots. The Raptors are now getting healthy. I mean, well, the one thing, I mean, Lowry 7.1K. I mean, that price tag is not bad if he's going to come back with a full allotment of minutes. But I don't think I'll be going here tonight. Title, any interest here in anyone on the Raptors or Heat side?
No, it's a full fade for me unless Dragic and Hero get ruled out. Then Butler and Nunn definitely get big boosts. But I think you'd need both of them to get out because the prices are up. If only one of them misses, I don't think it's enough on this slate with so much value. So it's going to be a fade most likely unless we get news they're both somehow out.
Yeah, I agree. Next game, we have the Timberwolves. We have the Bulls, 229 total. Chicago favored by 4.5. And, the Timberwolves under their new coach yesterday, we saw some guys, we saw a little sample of what we might get. It was a blowout, so it's hard to tell, but Towns did play 35 minutes. We got Beasley for 33 minutes. We got Edwards for 27 minutes. So I think moving forward, that's going to kind of be their core from an offensive standpoint. It's going to be Towns. It's going to be Beasley. It's going to be Edwards. The minutes upside, who knows? I mean, it was a blowout, and those guys, like I said, 35, 33, and 27 for Edwards in a close game. How much are they willing to push these guys? Who knows? But I will say it is a new coach, and I kind of lean that he's going to, let these guys play minutes. I think Towns is in a really good spot tonight, finally playing some good basketball. 61, 55 fantasy points in his last 2 games. If he plays his full allotment of minutes here, if he's in the mid-30s, I find it hard to believe that he doesn't get another 50, 55, even 60 fantasy points in this matchup with the Bulls. Beasley, 6.5K. Don't love that all that much. I'd probably rather take a shot on Edwards, 5.8K on the Bull side. I have some interest in the Bull. This game is nice. I like this game. Wendell Carter, I think, still cheap. I mean, the matchup with Towns is not great, but big performance last time out. 5-4 on FanDuel, 5-8 on DK. He's definitely in the conversation. Big T around Levine last time, and he would have had a monster game if it wasn't for the blowout. Didn't get his full run, only ended up playing 31 minutes, but he got really hot in the second quarter. He should be able to just absolutely feast in this matchup here. Kobe White, really good FanDuel price tag, 5.7K. Stick with you, Title. What are your thoughts here on this Timberwolves Bulls game?
Yeah, so this is a good game. Starting with the Timberwolves side, like you said, people probably overlooked it. I got Towns at 5% yesterday in tournaments, and Towns he's over a 10K player. We saw last year to start the year. He was 10-5, even 11K, dropping 60 bombs every night. The minutes were down, but I mean, the new coach comes in and he wants to win. Towns is your best player. He's your best path to victory. They're going to play him 35 minutes. 9.7K is too cheap. Now, it is a back-to-back, so I don't love this spot as much as last night, but I expect his ownership to be low again for his usage. I like him a lot. I like running it back with Zach LaVine, too, at 9.6K. We have enough value on the slate. I think these studs get overlooked with Brown and Tatum and stuff getting more usage. This is a good game environment. Two teams that don't play too much defense that can run, so I like those two as spend-ups. Wendell Carter is too cheap on both sides. He's been good recently, so I expect him to get a little ownership. I lean Malik Beasley over Edwards a little bit. He's just been playing better recently, but we always talk about it. Anthony Edwards is always a tournament play because he just doesn't stop shooting. When he's hot, he's going to go off. So I like him in tournaments as always, but I lean Beasley at 6.5. And then you said Kobe White on FanDuel. He's only 5.7K. That's too cheap at point guard. It's a good game environment. All these guys, I think, go overlooked for the most part. I like it.
Yeah, I think this is a really good game, and I don't think you really have to worry about ownership at all. I mean, I don't really see anyone coming in with very high ownership. Big T, is this a game that you're kind of looking at for tournaments?
God, man, center's tough tonight. Like every night, I feel like center is always the freaking hardest because all the good dudes play center all of a sudden, and I wish we could play two of them. Or I guess we can on DK, but FanDuel. It's annoying we can only play one when they're all the best play. Even like Wendell Carter as a center on DK, man, he's a good play tonight. And it's really hard to decide which two to play. Cat looks like borderline a lock, but then you look, Capella could be a borderline lock. I mean, we like other guys. Jared Allen was in a good spot. You guys liked him. I could go down the list. And Cat just looks like a lock against the Bulls. They have no bigs. The new coach is going to feed him the ball. They've already said it. I mean, you already look at his numbers before the coach, a 61, a 53. I mean, he started to get it going in a big way. He's going to crush, and Levine is going to crush coming back against Minnesota. So great plays there. Wendell Carter might be one of the best plays on the slate. I just wish he wasn't a damn center. It just sucks because, like, FanDuel – I mean, it's just so hard to use them.
There's some FanDuel. It's tough because you have him. Ayton is 6'4". He finally had that big game. Gets a good matchup against the Hornets. You have potentially Clint Capella. You have Cat. You can only play one of them, and Jared Allen's there. Like it makes it very difficult on FanDuel. At least on DK, you can get two of those guys.
And
on
it's
FanDuel.
Still annoying, even only being able to play two. I wish I could play like 5.
Yeah.
I mean, Cat does feel like, I don't even know how I would rank him, honestly. I mean, Cat might be number one of the centers for me. He feels like a total lock. I guess he carries slightly more risk just because Minnesota could get blown out at any point. They're a really bad team. So maybe there's a little bit more risk, but they got blown out last night and he still came in and got some run in the fourth. So, I mean, great play. And I like Beasley as a floor play. He got a bunch of work yesterday. I mean, it's a good game. Going to go low owned. I will definitely have a good percentage of it.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite spot on the slate. And big total, close spread. Don't really have to worry about ownership. You have guys that can go off. We have Cat. We have Levine. Kobe White can put up a big game. Wendell Carter can put up a big game. Beasley, Edward. A lot of ways to go.
Levine was from – how many years was he in Minnesota, too? He was there.
Yeah. A little revenge. Yeah.
Was Cat there with him? Do they I wonder if there's anything to that. They had to be there for at least a minute.
Yeah. They're there together. I don't know how many seasons, but they definitely played there together at some point.
I like it.
You guys are running out of time. I'm not going to say it, but you know the number 450. Got to get there. Got 3 games left. As of right now, coming up a little bit short, but I think you guys can do it. We still have that partnership going with Monkey Knife Fight. You head on over to Monkey Knife Fight, use promo code RUNPURE at checkout. You get a $50 match on your deposit. If you're a member at Run Pure Sports, which you should be, you can hop into our Discord channel, and we have a area specific to Monkey Knife Fight where we give out picks and plays for every sport throughout the day. It's good times over there. So head on over to Monkey Knife Fight. Use that promo code RUNPURE at checkout. All right, next game. Got some news. The Pistons, Pelicans, 223.5 total. Pelicans favored by 9.5. About 20 minutes ago, we get just before we go here, we got Oladipo and Eric Gordon still game time decision. So we're falling short on the news, unfortunately, but that's just another reason to head on over to Run Pure Sports and get in there for that final countdown with JSU and Holden. They'll definitely be able to break down all the news that pops up. This is not running pure on the news. I'll tell you that much. Whenever a guy is questionable and then you get the game time decision an hour and a half before the game, that freaking sucks. And we just got 2 of those. So you're definitely going to want to keep up on the news all the way to lock. This Pistons game, we get Jeremy Grant ruled out, and he's been probably their highest usage guy lately, and he's out. So that's going to be a big void to fill. Dennis Smith is going to be in the starting lineup, not getting a ton of minutes yet. Only played, 18 last game, 15, what was that, 23. So we haven't seen the minutes upside for him. The Saban Lee guy coming off 2 real big games. He's still pretty cheap. He played 32 minutes, 28 minutes, and over 30 fantasy points in both games. He's definitely going to be in the conversation here tonight as a strong play. Have a few forwards that'll obviously get a big boost. Sekou and potentially Malachi, or however the hell you pronounce his. Yeah, there you go. I should know from Detroit, but I just, obviously don't pay attention to the Pistons. Mason Plumlee, but I mean, everyone here is going to get a boost. Sadiq Bey. So, this was what Title was kind of talking about when we ended up on that Spurs game where, maybe you're not playing as many Spurs because you're going to take a look at some Pistons here. All get a pretty substantial boost. Josh Jackson, a lot of plays here that you can go to. On the Pelicans side, Zion, the price is starting to come up. He's been a very steady performer. I'm not in love here with the Pelicans guys. I'll probably mostly be off, but these Pistons guys are going to be some strong value plays. We'll go to you first, Title. What's your thoughts here on the Pistons without Jeremy Grant?
Yeah, so Saban Lee on DraftKings, he's 3.8K. This guy, I mean, he's getting more minutes than Dennis Smith. He came off the bench. He has been, but I love this price tag. He's going to be really popular. He's just really aggressive. Coach loves him. I saw some quotes how they think this guy's like the future. I mean, future point guard. They're invested in him. So 3.8K is way too cheap in this role. And then he's 6K or he's 5K on FanDuel. That's a little more expensive, or 5.3. 5K. Geez, sorry. I don't think he's going to get ownership, and I think he has absolute big upside in tournaments, but I wouldn't go in cash games because anytime you're coming off the bench, 25 minutes is in the realm of possibilities. So better DraftKings tournament on FanDuel. Josh Jackson's only 5.1K on FanDuel, where he's 6K on DraftKings. Just the opposite, like I said, way better play on FanDuel, cash game. But in DraftKings, I like him in tournaments because without Jeremy Grant, that's a ton of minutes to go around, a lot of usage to go around. Guys like Sadiq Bey and Mikhailuk and Sekou Booyah, I'm just going to call him Booyah. It's not like these guys are going to be shooting all the time. So there's a lot of uses that needs to go around. I think Jackson's going to get it. Bey's going to get it. But I do like these other guys for value, like Mikhailuk. He's a sharpshooter. We talked about it. 3.1K. Had a good game yesterday. I expect him to get ownership. The Sekou Booyah guy, 3.1K. I don't know as much about him, but he's 3.1K, and they're going to need him to play a lot of minutes with Grant out. So I'd rather go him than I would Tony Snell today or something like that if I'm going to punt. Other than that, the prices are fine. Like Mason Plumlee, if you want to do it, 6.4K, but we talk about the center position being loaded, and you got to use a spot on that. So that's why I'd rather go with the Mikhailuk's, the Booyahs, the Lees of the world, and and take the price discount so I can pay up for other stars. As far as the Pelican side, Josh Hart on FanDuel, he's only 4.7K. Small forward. If you need as one of the last piece, I'm fine with it. But other than that, not too much interest.
Yeah, Tony, go to you. I know haven't had a lot of time to fully digest the Jeremy Grant situation and who really gets the biggest boost, but give me your kind of initial thoughts on that, and then whether or not you have any interest in the Pelicans guys.
Yeah, I mean, so first of all, we don't talk about the bet side very often, but good God, like there's no way New Orleans isn't blowing this team out. I mean, this Detroit roster is so terrible. Let's see what the spread's at real quick. Let's see what it moved at after the Grant news. I mean, good Lord, this roster's bad. I mean, those names I was throwing up in my mouth as Title was talking about those names. They're only minus 11. Like, just go tell the bookmaker to put whatever your max bet is on it and go collect your money because, this roster's bad. I mean,
yeah.
Oh my God, Svi and Siku and Wayne Ellington, and oh my God, they're bad. And so I'm definitely not as high. Yesterday I was on Saban Lee, I was on Dennis Smith, and I was on Josh Jackson, and they all did pretty good. That was like the nut spot against a team that doesn't really defend the guard, that it was just a perfect spot. I think this is the worst spot. Josh Jackson can't shoot. Saban Lee can't really shoot. None of these dudes can shoot. They're going to have to get to the rim, and that's where New Orleans is strong. I see a total mismatch. I see all these dudes busting, and I won't play any of these dudes.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be a contrarian take because I'm imagining.
I'm not even like nervous either. Like, not one of these guys scares me even remotely.
You're going to see a lot of ownership. I mean, so you think the Pelicans blow them out? Any interest in anyone on that side, or you're just kind of fading this entire game?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could like them, but, man, I don't know. The price is kind of how we've been saying it all year, where these guys are just priced appropriately. Like, Zion's almost 9K now. Ingram's up there. I mean, maybe like a Josh Hart or something. We've seen some upside from Josh Hart at times. I mean, he just went for 40 again last game. Josh Hart has crazy upside. I mean, 49 and 47. I never thought I would say that either. Josh Hart has crazy upside, but he's got a 40, a 43, a 53, a 43. I mean, those are massive games from a dude under 5K. And now he gets a matchup versus Detroit that has just nothing. Like, no, I need to bump Josh Hart. I'm glad you said that too, because I had literally all of New Orleans X'd out, and I went back in there just to see if I liked any. I think I should play a little Josh Hart. I mean, he's shown us he's got upside. It could be a good spot for him.
He rebounds the basketball, so he has a floor. That's the big thing. Any guard that's going to rebound for you, those points add up.
I like it.
Certainly. Good call there from our boy Title. 2 more games, guys. Get the likes up. Almost there. Almost. Not quite. Almost. Last time I'm going to look before we're done. So just blow me away, guys. Blow me away with the number of likes. Make your boy excited here before we get off the air. We got the Hornets. We have the Suns, 225.5 total. Suns favored by 9.5. This game, I don't know. Tony, you said it. You really didn't like these last 2 games. I'm kind of with you a little bit. This game, it's site-specific plays for me. Like LaMelo is 8.9K on DK. I'm not going to pay that price tag, but he's still under 8K on FanDuel. I think he's in play over there. Gordon Hayward at 6.9K. I think there's some interest there. I don't hate that. I mean, if this game stays close, Hayward's a guy that does have some decent upside, so don't mind him. On the Suns side, it's pretty tough for me to invest in any of these Suns. If you're buying the narrative, the snub narrative, I mean, Tony talked about it with Sabonis. Devin Booker's another guy. I have no clue why he's not on the All-Star team, but he's not. Maybe he comes out and has a big performance. I think he got snubbed last year too, and I want to say he came out and had a big game. I can't remember for sure. I might just be making that up, but I think it happened. But, maybe you buy that narrative, you go to him. Ayton played well last game. Didn't get the full run because of the blowout. He's still really cheap on FanDuel at 6.4K. I have a little bit of interest here. But for me, mostly in this game, it's price point plays based on the site. Nothing that I'm over the moon excited about. We'll go to you, Big T. Are you applying the same narrative to Mr. Devin Booker tonight that you are to Sabonis?
I do like him, but the issue is, I know I feel redundant on these shows because we do them every day. I just like there's only the 2 late games. You got all early games I like, and I just don't love this game. So if there's only the 2 late games, I just don't feel the need to force it. Like I would rather just play an early guy where you know the news going into it. You just know for a fact what's happening. Stuff could change all of a sudden. If who knows what could happen. And I don't love the spot anyways. I do like Booker though. If I was picking anyone to play, it would be him because Chris Paul too. He's one of the best point guards ever. You know he's mad too about the Booker snub. I could see him trying to get Booker in some sets where gets him some good looks, try to get him off a little bit to make a point. I could see the whole team rallying around Booker a little bit, trying to get him a big game. So I do like him. If I was playing a bunch of teams, I definitely would have some Booker. But just playing the one or a couple teams, I'm not gonna take the chance in the late 2 games. I get annoyed too about this Detroit thing too. So this is what everyone does with yesterday. I say Saban Lee's a lock on here, and everyone's like, this guy could steal minutes and he's not starting. And then he has another good game, and now everyone acts like I'm crazy for fading him when I have reasons. Just yesterday I was crazy for playing him. He has one good game and now I'm crazy for the other way. I don't understand that. Like you can't be crazy both directions.
Yeah. I'm with you.
I'm not saying that you can't play him anyways.
You got to be fair to Big T. That's just simply not fair. Here's the question: we pull up this West roster. We did it earlier. Who should he have made it over? For me, it's simple. Rudy Gobert should not be a freaking NBA. Rudy Gobert. That's probably the most embarrassing selection there is out there. Gobert, and I don't think he should. I think he should have made it over. Mitchell made it. I mean, Mitchell, I could see a little bit, but I think he definitely should have made it over Gobert. Definitely should have made it over Chris Paul.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Paul has been freaking good, though.
He's been good, but
I don't know. So Gobert's always the hard one. Like, if you didn't do it by position, there's no way freaking Gobert would be on there ever. They always want to put 2 centers on there. And, like, Gobert sucks. Like, if we just went and played basketball, say we just go into the gym at the local Y, and all these dudes without jerseys are in there, no one's picking Gobert over Booker. Like, literally no one.
I think it was because Booker was hurt for a little while. He was out a couple weeks. So
yeah, Booker has not had the greatest of season. I will say Sabonis is by far the way bigger snub. Like it's not even close. Like Sabonis 100% should have been in the All-Star game. I'm not as offended by the Booker thing.
And Utah's the best. They have the best record in the NBA. You know, all the All-Star people, they take all that into consideration. So. But yeah, I mean
Gobert's had a good. I'm not a Gobert guy at all. He has had a good year though. They're the number 1 seed. Whatever. Like Sabonis was definitely a bigger snub. I don't like Gobert, but I can see why they put him on there.
Yeah. Tyler Hero out, Dragic in. I don't know. Doesn't change much for me. Title change anything for you?
Yeah, I mean, if anything, none Butler, they get a boost a little bit, but there's better plays on the slate that I like more, so it doesn't change much. I wanted them both out for it to change.
Yeah. Change anything for you?
I mean, no, I don't love that spot. I mean, Dragic is back too. I mean, I don't see it. I mean, Nunn isn't even cheap anymore. He had a really big game. That's another game log game. Yeah. Like people see that he crushed. I don't see. There's so many good plays on slates like this. I don't feel like you should force plays in there. Like you just don't need to.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Title, anything here in this Hornets Suns game for you from a fantasy perspective?
You can play Ayton on both sides. Like we said, he's better on FanDuel at 6.4K. It's a price point play against Zeller, so I'm fine there if you want it. I'm fine with LaMelo on FanDuel where he's 7.8. Too expensive.
I gotta cut you guys off. Like, explain to me, Ayton. Please just tell me why you want to play.
He did well last game. He got
33.
Yeah, blowout. I mean, he would have gotten 40 if he played his last 6-7 minutes.
There's so many good center plays, and
he's one of them, man. Like he's one of them.
God.
On FanDuel at 6.4K, if that fits the build, I mean, it's hard to avoid. Like we've seen his, I think he's a good player. I know he has a ceiling, but the minutes volatility and all that stuff is a little concerning. But 6.4K, he has 50. If he got 50,
so let me just read you these. Okay. 33, 20, 41, 32.
We went through this
28.
last week.
Yes,
I know.
we've done
I know.
this. We've done this.
Oh, the centers
We've
are the
done
best play. Why would you play Ayton?
3 out of the last 4. 32, 41,
What's
20,
32 gonna get
33.
you?
In
32.
games, that's fine.
Yeah, that's what
You
last.
take that.
At
Yeah, you
center?
wanted that. Yeah, last time.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
32 is good at center for
At
6.4K.
6.4K, it's not killing your lineups.
At
I mean,
center
right,
it is because these dudes crush.
You only got to beat 50% of the field in cash games. You'll take 5x and move on. I mean,
you'll take
Yeah,
that.
I
and
hope
move
you guys
on.
play Ayton tonight. Ayton is
I mean,
oh,
he's a
God.
really good cash play on FanDuel.
yeah.
Please
Get in there, boy. The head-to-heads are posted. You got all this cheese now. Come on.
If
Yeah,
you
Get
play,
in there.
if you
Just like
promise
you
to
did
play
to
Ayton, I'll play you tonight.
Hey,
I'll pick it
just
up
like-
right
hey,
now if you play Ayton. You got
just
my
like
word.
you
I'll
did
pick
to
it up.
Mangone. Just like you did to Mangone. You put
Yep,
him right
I'll do it right
place.
now. Put it
All
up.
right, all right.
You play Ayton,
I'll build
I'll
a team.
pick your game up.
I'll build a team with Ayton.
No, I want your main team with Ayton.
It might be. It might
Yeah,
be.
no,
You gotta
Big T.
pay. You gotta
I'll
pay.
split your
You gotta pay to see, buddy.
Deal.
All right, Big T. I will play Ayton against you. It's now that
Deal.
you're saying that. I got
Send
one.
head over with Ayton, and I'll play you. Guaranteed.
No, on FanDuel you can scoop.
Yeah, either side. Send an Ayton
right.
team over. I'm definitely in. You can
All
play
right,
shitty ass Ayton in his 30-point fantasy game and take it to the window.
All right, I'm playing him against you.
Do
Hey,
it. Send it
I have
over
him-
right now.
No, I have him posted.
Mangone
Just go
already
ta-
went down. Now you're going down. Send it over.
Go take one. You can't send on FanDuel or
Hey,
I don't even.
Mangone did. He found out how to send me
Grab
one.
a head-to-head.
Go
That's
to the
easiest way
public
do it.
lobby.
And
I
then
don't
you
know how
can
to do
find.
that shit. I haven't picked the game up since Mangone's.
Who won? I know that
Is there a
answer.
rematch in the
He got
making?
pounded. Send that
Can I
game
I
over.
want a Mangone Big T rematch. I want to see that go down again. That was fun.
You beat him by
I
22.
told him he's got to play like Uncle T first to work his way back up the ladder. You don't just get another title
You don't
shot.
get another shot.
Oh, that's
All right,
good.
last game on the slate. We got the Lakers. We got the Jazz. 218.5 total. Jazz favored by 8.5. Jazz, one of the best teams in the NBA right now, playing like one of the best teams. Lakers, not so much. They're kind of struggling out there. Lost to the Wizards last time, but it is kind of ironic. You guys see the Wizards, like they've beaten like all the good teams and lost to all the crappy ones that are just getting up for these big games and winning. But yeah, I mean, Jazz favored by 8.5 in this game, and Lakers have not looked all that good. It's another game. Jazz are a simple team for me, like when they're fully healthy, and we've talked about it all season long. Like Tony said, I don't want to be redundant and talk about the same thing, but it's kind of the case with the Jazz right now. Like they're fully healthy. It's a pretty bad matchup here against a good Lakers defense. I'm not going to really click the Lakers guys here. In terms, or the Jazz guys, I'm not going to click Jazz names with them at full strength here against this Lakers defense. On the Lakers side, though, not a ton of interest on DK. The prices are bad, but I do have a little bit of interest on FanDuel where, small forward's not the strongest position. LeBron James is 10.4K. I don't hate that price tag. I don't hate Kuzma at like 5.7. But on DK specifically, this game is a full fade for me. I'm not paying the price tags for any of these guys on FanDuel. I think those few plays are interesting. We'll go to you first, Title. What are your thoughts here on this Lakers Jazz game?
This is a pretty easy fade. As we were saying, we're going to get the news earlier. We like the spots earlier with the Spurs, with Detroit, some of the other spend ups. So I have no interest. I don't need to wait and backload my lineup for this game. Could be a blowout. Pretty easy fade.
Yep. Big T, you said you really didn't have much interest in these last two games. Has anything changed?
Oh, Sean Nizzle's got me in tears. He said Ayton is Greg Oden's son. Oh, that's so funny. It looks just like him. I'm dying.
Speaking of Greg Oden, okay, remember, Tony, when you and I went to that the Cavs Celtics, Tony, Big T and I met for Cavs Celtics playoff game. When was it? It was probably 3 years ago, maybe?
It was a minute ago, yeah.
Yeah, so we were courtside for the game. We had second row seats, and we're all excited. It was a fun game. We turn around and look behind us and down a little bit, and there's our boy Greg Oden sitting there courtside, third row behind us, feeding a baby with a bottle in one hand. He's got the beer right next to him.
My favorite picture.
Looked
Literally like my favorite picture I own. A baby in one hand, a 40. It was a 40. He had a 40 in the other hand.
He had the big boy beer, like he had the big guy. Baby bottle and baby in one hand, 40 big ounce beer in the other. It looked like he was about 75 years old.
he had like sweatpants on and like literally just a true grinder. It was.
We got to find that picture. So Simon.
Oh, I got it. It's one of my favorite pictures. I gotta send it out tonight because that picture, that was a good one. But yeah, I mean, no, I hate to be redundant too, but I said it. I mean, these late 2 games, I just don't like that much. Yeah, you could make some cases for a few of the guys if you wanted to, but do you really need to when you have tons of good plays you like? I'd rather just take the early plays that I know are good plays and then whatever, go watch the games and hang out and not worry about news the rest of the night that I don't need. I just don't like the late 2 games, so I'm just going to make it easy on myself and just fade them.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. It's just not a very sexy spot here, especially in this last one. But I do. Does it change a little bit for you on FanDuel a little bit where you got to play the 2 small forwards? You got LeBron at 10-4. Kuzma's a little bit cheaper over there. He's playing a lot of minutes.
Let me look at the small forward real quick.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a.
Sometimes I get in trouble with this on FanDuel because like I'll know I'm fading LeBron on a DK, and then I'll get to FanDuel at like small forward, and it's so freaking ugly that I have to put him back in my player pool. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, look at small forward. You got Jaylen Brown. You got Gallo if Collins is out.
Yeah.
You got
Hart.
Man, it's ugly. Josh Hart, my boy Josh Hart at 4,700.
Yeah.
Beasley. I mean, yeah, LeBron is definitely, and I don't mind honestly playing something like that because just say worst case scenario, is there any Utah? Who would you have to pivot to if he somehow sat?
Yeah, you'd be totally out.
You'd be screwed. Yeah.
He'd be done.
I worry a little bit about it. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, he's definitely more in play on FanDuel though.
Yeah. All right, that wraps up the game-by-game analysis. You guys got to the number 471. You can keep them going if you want. I mean, it definitely helps us out. So don't be shy. You can still pound it even though you got to the 450. We're gonna give away a piece of gear, and man, get on, like we said, get on there on social media and post it. I mean, we got Black Jesus last week repping the hat, looking great. We got our boy Caesar repping the hat today in North Cali. Pictures look phenomenal. We like seeing it. So if you win some gear, we don't mind the pictures after. And like Tony said, maybe we'll do a little promo next week or so, and send yourself the most eye-catching, I guess, picture of yourself or someone else wearing the RPS gear. But the winner for today is gonna be our boy Out for Justice. He just became a member over at Run Pure Sports, says he's a big fan of the YouTube show. So Out for Justice, reach out to BigT or info at Run Pure Sports, and we'll get you on that next shipment, which should go out in about 25 minutes, Tony?
Yeah, right before lock. I'm going to get off this show, drive to FedEx, and get back before lock.
Tony has his own workspace at the local FedEx, if you didn't know. He goes in there, gets the shipment set out, and he just goes over to the cubicle and finishes putting the winner.
My favorite part is everybody makes fun of me now because we always do this stuff at home. So, like, people will get their shirts and gear in Walmart bags and, like, Kroger bag. People love it.
Oh, that's great. All right. So, yeah, Out for Justice. Reach out to BigT or info at Run Pure Sports. And we'll get that gear out to you relatively soon. All right, now it's time for the plays. First up is Title with the SO play of the day.
Yeah, so there's a lot of value on this slate with the Spurs, with Detroit, so salary isn't an issue. And I like Zach LaVine today as my spend up as my SO play of the day. It's a 1-point spread. I love this game environment against the Timberwolves in Chicago. LaVine, we all know his ceiling. I just think it's
with Ayton. Go with Greg Oden's son. You got to ball up.
I'm already playing you again, or I'm already playing him against you, so don't worry about that. I'll have money on Ayton, guaranteed. But hey, Zach LaVine, he's going to be lower owned. Ayton's going to be higher owned than Zach LaVine too. I got to make a low own. That's the SO play. So Zach LaVine under 10%. People are going to be scared of the price tag. Rather go to Tatum, to Brown, stuff like that. I love this spot. Love this game.
Yeah, I really like LaVine. I like that game too. I'm with you. And there's just no way it has high ownership on this 9-game slate. So love that call. All right, Big T, who do you got for the official Wednesday night workbench play of the day?
This might be the toughest day for me, honestly, with the workbench, just because I like a lot of guys. And a lot of them are centers, honestly. And I like to give my play when I know they're going to end up in my main team. But a few of these guys I really like, I can't guarantee they're going to end up on my main team just because I have no idea what news is going to hit. It depends on what guys, some of these early guys are in or out, what I do. So I'm just going to give a play that I think could totally crush, and they might not end up on my team, but just because of how loaded center is. But Wendell Carter Jr. against Minnesota, he's coming off a game where he played 28 minutes and had 45 freaking fantasy points, and now he gets Cat. He's going to eat in there. He's going to get a monster game. The problem is center is just so loaded, but the flip side to that is no one's going to play Wendell Carter. If he goes in there and gets you freaking 45 again or 50 at 5,800, you're just going to print.
Yeah. I like that call. I mean, I think the biggest risk, obviously, with him is avoiding foul trouble, and he's a handsy guy. If he stays out of that foul trouble with Cat, I think he has a monster game, so I'm with you. The last play, it's official. It's on the board. It's the 4X play of the day. It was a winner last time out on that smaller slate. I went back-to-back with Morant against the Mavericks, and he got us there. It finally had the big game, pretty big game. I think it was definitely over 40 fantasy points. That counts as a win, right, Big T?
Especially when it's the 4X play of the day, it definitely counts as a win.
Yeah. You just got to get 4X. He got way over 4X, and we'll take it. So it was a winner.
Look at that picture.
Yeah.
Hoop's looking jacked.
Yeah. Hey, I'm back in the gym full time now.
Luigi a title at the table with the ladies. I'm dying.
That's the bench coming.
So what do? We just clear off the picnic table, lay the ladies down, put on the seat and get to work, boys? Is that how we do
like
it?
that there's more ladies than us there also.
Yeah, we got options. We got options in there, right?
Oh,
shout out to Simon. That's good.
I didn't see that picture last time. That was the same.
It was different last time.
It was?
Yeah,
I didn't think I saw that one before.
This is a new one. I mean, I've never used the picnic table as the workbench, but hey, I mean, you got to be agile. You got to.
Steve Anthony said, "It looks like you're sitting on my lap." Come on, Simon. Title can't be on my lap.
It does. I see it now. It definitely does. Oh gosh.
Oh, that is good.
There might be another dude in there too. We can't have another dude on the left.
That can't be a dude behind the graphics here. We need more ladies. We want more ladies. The only guys allowed at our picnic are us three. The dudes, they're out. Leave their lady. Check your lady at the door and get the hell out of here. Oh, all right. So I'm going to stick with that center position, which we've said is loaded. A lot of guys, I think, big upside, but man, I'm going Jared Allen tonight, coming off some big games. I think he could absolutely crush here against this Rockets small front court. I think he can have a monster game here. Pretty affordable price tag on both sides, not going to break the bank. So Jared Allen is the official 4X play of the day. I think that'll do it. Good breakdown here, boys. Game by game. I think the plays are lined up. I'm looking forward to the slate. It's going to be a good one. So make sure you head on over to Run Pure Sports. Check out the Final Countdown show with JSU and Holden. They'll be taking you up to lock. We have some big news we're still waiting on with the Rockets and Oladipo, Eric Gordon, and then John Collins, also game time decision. That's a 7:30 Eastern game. So should get it any time. JSU and Holden will be breaking it all down over at runpuresports.com. You can use that promo code Workbench21, gets you 25% off your first payment over there. So for TitleTown, for Big T, Hoop, good luck tonight in your contests.
Good luck, everybody.